Hey everyone! Last week, we looked at this aggressive invade strategy centered on killing the enemy jungler before they could gank. Today, we'll be looking at and more deeply analyzing another example of this route from Griffin Trazan, widely considered the best jungler in Korea. Let's jump in. So here we join with Trazan on Camille, starting out at red. And right away he sees two things that let him know the enemy Olaf started blue. First, his Jax is at the enemy red checking and doesn't see anyone. But your top laner probably won't do this for you, so Trazan could also just watch for a leash. And he doesn't see the enemy bot in lane, indicating that they're likely leashing the blue buff. So this lets Trazan know that if he wants to invade Olaf at a buff, he needs to head for red, which we see him doing here. So as Trazan makes his way over here, he has two real options to consider. One is to wait in one of these two brushes for the enemy jungler to come by, and then try to jump on them and kill them when that happens, and the other is to just go straight onto that red buff and steal it away. And we're going to see him go straight onto the red buff to steal it away. And one of the big reasons there is that Olaf is a champion who really likes to fully farm out and clear a lot of camps. So it's going to take him a while. He's likely going to do blue, then he'll likely do Gromp, then he'll do wolves, then he'll head up to the top side probably. So waiting for him after doing just one camp isn't really feasible. Now if he were against someone who's more likely to do just blue and then run up, or blue wolves then run up, he might want to just wait in this brush and look for the kill instead. So Trazan goes ahead and clears out the red, then once again, knowing that Olaf is a full slow clearer, goes for Krugs as well. And this is a potentially very risky play depending on the jungle matchup. If you're immobile or against someone who is very mobile, strong, etc., this could be a big int. So only do this if you're on a very strong mobile early game champion like Camille here, or you know for sure that the enemy jungler won't interfere. Anyway, as Trazan is clearing out the Krugs, the enemy Scion walks over to him, which he manages easily with a nice sidestep. Now, what's important here is to understand that Scion walking over very likely means that Camille was spotted on a ward in the enemy jungle. But why is that important? What do you think? Take a second. Well, with Camille taking the route that we see here and being seen, it pretty much guarantees that Olaf will be heading into Camille's bottom side because he knows that his top side is compromised. With this knowledge in hand, Trazan quickly kills off the Rift Scuttler to heal up before heading down to the bottom side, leaving his entire top side jungle alive. And why do we think it is that Trazan would just leave all of these camps up, and even this that he could almost certainly steal, knowing that Olaf was going to be over here, leaving all of that behind just to rush down here where Olaf is going to clear this very quickly, and the only camp left up will be the Krugs, and again he's leaving 3 camps and 1 camp that he could easily steal just to go down there? So why do we think that is? What is it that's really pulling him down there? Well, it's his excellent map vision and awareness. By looking down the bot lane, he can see that his bot lane is shoved under tower against very strong CC, someone who can tank and dive well, and he knows that this is going to be happening very soon, and that his bot lane is going to get destroyed if he doesn't head down as well. So this is him having excellent awareness and going down there to help prevent this play and protect his lane. Let's see what happens. So Trazan heads straight for the bottom lane and, sure enough, arrives to find the red team very aggressively positioned and looking for kills. And he's able to push them back and discourage their aggression fairly easily. This is absolutely something that a player of any skill level can do. Just have that awareness and going to the right place. Now, what we see next is Trazan kind of flexing his skill and decision making to know that they can chase and win the fight, which is going to be difficult for a lot of players, or they might mess it up, overestimate themselves, etc. But even if you're not confident enough to make this type of aggressive play, just stopping the dive or aggressive play is still a big win. Moving on, following the double kill, Trazan heads to base and finally returns to his topside jungle to clear out Blue, Gromp, and Wolves. Now, at this point, I just want to talk about how powerful this strategy is in terms of tracking the enemy jungler. So when Camille went in, she took away these two camps, right? And we know that Olaf cleared these three camps when he was doing his initial clear before coming over here to then kill this. So when Olaf dies in the bottom lane and is then looking to reset, the only camp that he has up and can run to are these raptors. So that's almost certainly what he's going to do. So as Camille is in this top side, she very likely knows that Olaf is also in the top side as well. And we're going to see him use this information in a very powerful way in just a second here. So looking at the minimap right now, what are Olaf's options? Well, the only blue team laner on the map is Jax in the top lane, so he can either gank top or simply farm. That's it. And whenever you know that you're way stronger than the enemy jungler, like Trazan is now with the 2 kills that he just got, you can just look for where the enemy jungler will gank and absolutely shut it down. And we see Trazan doing exactly that, running up toward the top lane. On his way, he sees Olaf top, confirming his suspicions and setting the stage for a beautiful counter gank. So Trazan continues toward top, hiding in the pit to ensure that he's not spotted. Once he sees Olaf commit, it's go time. Beautiful. Once again, Trazan read the map perfectly to know exactly what Olaf would do and absolutely destroy him and his team. After the gank top, we see Trazan heading down toward mid and even just walking straight into the mid lane for a quick skirmish with Ori before heading to bot river. And once again, this is an intense move from Camille to just run straight through mid on the way down to that bottom side, which is very similar to what we saw earlier in the game, where after clearing out over here, he ran all the way down to interrupt this fight here. And we can see so clearly that his attention is on, after getting ahead, just interrupting Olaf and preventing him from doing anything. Because now he knows that Olaf has cleared these 2 camps before running into that gank topside, and will naturally be heading back down to bottom where his only camps are once he respawns. So Trazan is just continuing to put on the pressure by heading down here to once again prevent Olaf from accomplishing anything and continuing to assert his dominance onto this game. So Trazan goes ahead and takes Scuttle to heal up and just hovers near bottom, eventually seeing Olaf and once again preventing him from doing anything positive. But a fight does break out in the bot lane, allowing Camille to pick up a kill easily onto the enemy Jinx. But what's next? Take a second to think what Trazan will do next with the enemy bot lane dead, his ADC dead, but his support still alive. Well, let's watch and see. So Trazan knew that Olaf's blue was coming up based on the game time because that's where he started, so he moved into position. Looking back on this game, it was an incredible example of how one of the world's best junglers invaded, then used the knowledge that he gained while invading to absolutely destroy the enemy jungler. When you're in the enemy jungle, you learn so much about where they are and where they're going. In the right hands, this information is absolutely lethal